Hello everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this new episode of News on Map India segment. Today we'll be discussing about few locations which has been in news for past few weeks, and then these locations would be important for your prelims examinations. So let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the last episode. So let's see the question. The question was, the Eastern Ghats meet the coastal plains of Odisha at which prominent hill range known for its rich biodiversity? Okay, so here the hint is the range which is in Odisha. Okay, so now most of you have given the right answer. Okay, options were Shivroy Hills, Javadi Hills, Nalamala Hills, and Mahendragiri Hills. Okay, we know that these hills are from the all hills are from the Eastern Ghats, and when we are talking about the sequence, you can say sequence is like Mahendragiri is in the north, and then to the south of that is Nalamala, and then to the south of that Javadi, and then Shivroy Hills. Let's see the location of these maps. Here you can see this is Mahendragiri. It is in Odisha. Okay, this is rich in biodiversity. Okay, because it is an estuary. Nearby some estuary, and you know that there is this important lake, Chilika Lake. So this area is quite rich in biodiversity. After that, you can see these are the northern sarkars, and then there is this Nalamala Hills in the Andhra Pradesh area, and then in the south of that Javadari Hills, and then south of that would be Shivroy Hills. Okay, so for our questions, you can see answer is Mahendragiri Hills, Odisha. Okay, so here your answer would be D, Mahendragiri Hills, which is situated in Odisha. Okay, so let's start with the question number 1 of this episode. Question number 1 says, with reference to the Eastern Ghats, consider the following statements. The Eastern Ghats passes through the Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Tamil Nadu only. Whenever there is such words like only, etc., these are called extreme words. So you have to be little cautious when such words are used. Okay. After that, they are older and higher than the Western Ghats. We know that the elevation of Western Ghats is higher than the Eastern Ghats, because mostly you can see Eastern Ghats may have beaches, but mostly when we are talking about the Western Ghats, these are mostly escarpments. Okay, so let's see. You have to select the correct statements. Here you can see this is the expanse of, you can say, Eastern Ghats. You can see it is in Tamil Nadu, little bit part is in Karnataka, and then Andhra Pradesh, then you can say here Odisha. Okay, and little bit part here is in also Jharkhand. Okay, so we can say that the statement is wrong because it has given only 3 states, saying only on, in those 3 states. But you can see here little bit it is in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and little bit of in Jharkhand. Okay, so let's see. And when we are talking about the elevation of Western Ghats is 900 to 1600, and then elevation of Eastern Ghats is nearly 600 meters. So basically you can say Western Ghats are higher than Eastern Ghats. Okay. Then the highest peak in the Western Ghats is Anaimudi. Okay, and then highest peak in the Eastern Ghats is Mahendragiri Hills. Okay, so let's see. Question again. Eastern Ghats passes through Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Tamil Nadu only. Here we have seen that Karnataka also form part of it, and then when we are talking about Andhra Pradesh, okay, so we can say that this statement is wrong. Okay, they are older and higher than the Western Ghats. Okay, so here you can see they are talking about Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are not higher, but Western Ghats are higher than Eastern Ghats. So this statement is also wrong. You can say answer would be D, which is neither 1 or 2. Okay, let's move to the question number 2. Consider the following statement. Cardamom Hills constitute the southernmost part of Western Ghats. Okay, Western Ghats are mostly divided into, you can say, okay, hold on. So when we are talking about Western Ghats, it is mostly divided into 3 parts. First is the northern Western Ghats, then middle Western Ghats, then southern Western Ghats. Okay, so when we are talking about Cardamom Hills, these hills are in the southern Western Ghats, and this is the southernmost part of the Western Ghats, we can say. Then Biligiri Rangan Hills are located in the confluence of Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. You have to select the correct statement. So let's see. Here you can see these are your Western Ghats. Okay, this is the Eastern Ghats, and this area is basically the confluence of Western and Eastern Ghats. Okay, and when we are talking about this BR Hills, this area where there is this confluence, we can say that BR Hills form part in the confluence area. Okay, for more details, you can see this particular picture. Here you can see these are the Western Ghats. Okay, then these are Eastern Ghats, and somewhere here this is the confluence, and this portion forms the part that is VR Hills. Okay, so let's see the statements again. Before that, I would like to tell you that these Cardamom Hills are part of, as I told you, these are part of Southern Western Ghats. Okay, this is your Upper Western Ghats, and then this is Middle Western Ghats, and then this is your Southern Western Ghats. So Cardamom Hills are the southernmost range which is in the Western Ghats. Okay, so here you can see Cardamom Hills constitute the southernmost part of Western Ghats. This is correct. Biligiri Rangan Hills located at the confluence of Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. As I told you, this is also correct. So answer would be C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Moving ahead, let's see the question number 3. The river that carved the Gandikota Canyon, often linked to or called as Grand Canyon of India. Okay, in the southern part of the country. So when we are talking about this particular canyon, Gandikota Canyon, okay, so in which river forms this particular canyon? Options are Kaveri, B. Manjira, C. Pennar, D is Tungabhadra. Okay, so let's have a look at the map. Here you can see this is the map, and somewhere here, okay, this particular place is there, that is your Gandikota Canyon. Okay, that is nearby Andhra Pradesh area. Okay, so when we are talking about the river, you can see this is on the Pennar river. When we are talking about canyons, what are the canyons? These are geographical features. Okay, so basically when a river is flowing, it goes for erosion. Okay, so when, let's say, this is the river bed and this is flowing here for a long period of time, if it doesn't change the course, it goes for the erosion of its river bed. Okay, this will create a structure like this. The side, there will be walls, and then there will be a valley. With time, these side walls will become very large in size, or their height becomes very large, because of which these trenches or these gullies becomes very deep in nature. Such steep valleys are known as canyon. Okay, so when we are talking about India's Grand Canyon, it is this Gandikota. Okay, so this is on the Pennar river. Here somewhere it is located in the Andhra Pradesh area. Okay, so let's see the question. The river that carved the Gandikota, often linked to the Grand Canyon of India, it is in the southern part of the country, formed by the river, that is Pennar river. Okay, so let's see question number 4. Which of the following statement correctly describe the geographical features of Manipur? Manipur has always been in the news because of various reasons. Okay, so here you can see options are given. A. Manipur is landlocked state in northeast India, predominantly covered by hilly regions. Okay. Option B is Manipur shares its border with the state of Nagaland, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura, and with the country of Myanmar. C is the state of Manipur, along with Mizoram, is characterized by unique floating island known as Loktak Lake, which is the largest freshwater lake in the northeast region. Then D. Manipur experiences a desert climate due to its location in the rain shadow region of the eastern Himalayas. Okay, so let's see. So when we are talking about the location of Manipur, here you can see this is Manipur. Okay, in the northern region, you have this boundary with the state of Nagaland. In the western side, you can say there is Assam, and in the southern side, there is this Mizoram. Okay, when we are talking about the eastern boundary, it is made by the Myanmar country. Okay, so these are the location of Manipur and the nearby areas. So moving further, we can see here, as I told you, there are many. The statement was, it is predominantly the geography of Manipur is predominantly hilly region. Okay, so let's see here. This is the area of Manipur. Here you can say this all ranges are present, which are basically hills. Okay, so you can say this is the extension of Himalayas, or which is basically known as Purvanchal Himalayas. Okay, so let's see this particular map. Here you can see this is Manipur, and there are many ranges like Beral Range, Bhuban Hills, then Laimatol Range, Eastern Manipur Hills, and then if they are talking about the upper side, there is Naga Hills. Okay, and then if we are talking about the southern side, there are also part of Mizo Hills. Okay, so this particular area is surrounded by many hills, and when we are talking about the central region of this particular state, you can say this is the valley portion. This constitute about 10% of the geographical area of the state, and when we are talking about the hilly regions, that is nearly 90% of the state. So we can say that Manipur's geography is predominantly hilly. Okay, so let's see the next statement, which is world's only floating national park. Okay, so this is Kaibul Lamjao National Park, which is in Manipur, and this is near your Loktak Lake. Okay, so this statement is correct. When we are talking about this particular climatic condition of the state, you can see here that, as I told you, this whole portion, this portion is valley region, and other than that, this is hilly region, which is a forest area. So you can see this area is basically a forest area. So you can say we don't have any kind of desert-like conditions in Manipur. Okay, so that statement also becomes wrong here. So here let's see, Manipur is the landlocked state in the northeast India, predominantly covered by the hilly regions. As we see the boundaries, we know that there are Indian states which borders the Manipur state, and then there is Myanmar, which is international boundary. There is no water body which is connected to Manipur. So that is why it is a landlocked state in northeastern region of India. And then Manipur shares border with the state of Nagaland, Assam, Mizoram, and Tripura is not one of the states we have seen here. Here you can see this is Tripura, and Tripura does not form boundary with Manipur. Okay, so that is why statement 2 is incorrect. Okay, then the state of Manipur along with the Mizoram is characterized by its unique floating island known as Loktak Lake. Loktak Lake, it is in, you can say, Manipur and not Mizoram. Okay, so this statement is also wrong. Then Manipur experiences a desert climate. We have seen that it is not a desert climate area, it is a forest area, hilly area. Okay, so this is also wrong. So you can say statement A is the right answer, wherein hilly region forms nearly 90% of the geographical area of Manipur. Okay, moving further, question number 5. What is the significance of Satluj River in the Indus Water Treaty between India and Pakistan? Okay, this treaty was signed somewhere in 1959 or 60. It was brokered by World Bank. Okay, this treaty is between India and Pakistan. Sharing of water between of Indus and the tributary rivers. Like there are 6 rivers which has been divided between India and Pakistan. Their water distribution has been divided between India and Pakistan by Indus Water Treaty. Okay, it is brokered by World Bank. So let's see. A treaty allocates exclusive rights over Satluj River to India. Treaty allocates exclusive right over the Satluj to Pakistan. Treaty divides the Satluj River water equally between India and Pakistan. D is the treaty does not include Satluj River. Okay, so let's see. Here you can see this particular thing was in news because there on the Satluj River or the riverbed of Satluj, we have found a rare metal which is named as tantalum. Okay, so this is the picture of the metal. So this rare metal is quite expensive, etc., and it is found on the riverbed of Satluj. That is why this particular topic was in news. So we have taken this question. Here you can say this is the Indus River, and these are the tributaries of Indus, that is Satluj, Chenab, Jhelum. Okay, so you can see. Other than that, when we are talking about Indus Water Treaty, there are 6 rivers. There are western rivers, that is Chenab, Jhelum, and Indus. You can see this is Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab. These rivers are considered as western rivers. Other than that, the other 3 rivers, that is Ravi, Beas, and Satluj, are considered as eastern rivers in this particular treaty. And to the eastern rivers, we have exclusive rights. India has all the rights for the these eastern rivers. When we are talking about western rivers, India has limited rights. Okay, India can use these rivers for the non-consumptive uses. Okay, there are other conditions also, but we have limited rights when we are talking about Chenab, Jhelum, and Indus, and we have exclusive full rights over this Ravi, Beas, and Satluj. Okay, so that is why we can say that the rights over the Satluj River, all the exclusive rights are with India. Okay, so let's see the question again. Option A is the treaty allocates exclusive right over Satluj to India. You can say this is correct option. You don't have to read the other options. So answer would be A, that is treaty allocates exclusive rights over Satluj to India. Okay, let's move to the question number 6. Which of the following is not a characteristic feature of Yamuna river basin? So when we are talking about Yamuna river basin, mostly it is in your Uttarakhand and then Uttar Pradesh and some part of, you can say, Delhi, etc. Then one is district of Haryana, that is Yamuna Nagar. Okay, so other than that, you can say after that it goes to Bihar and it merged with Ganga in Allahabad. Okay, so let's see the statement A. It is one of the most densely populated river basin in the world. Okay. Then B. It is known for its rich deposit of alluvial soil, making it highly fertile. C is the basin extends into the Thar desert in Rajasthan. D is it supports a wide variety of flora and fauna. Obviously, when we are talking about this particular river basin, we know that this area, mostly this river basin falls in UP, and UP is mostly you can say densely populated area. Okay, then it is known for the rich deposit of alluvial soil. Okay, whenever rivers are flowing, they will bring some kind of soil, and when we are talking about UP and Bihar area, these areas are plains wherein alluvial soil forms deposit, and that is why they are quite fertile in nature. Okay, mostly these are agriculture based economy they have. Okay, so we can say that these are a rich deposit of alluvial soil, making it highly fertile. The river basin extends into Rajasthan, Thar desert of Rajasthan, which we will put a hold on, and then it supports a wide variety of flora and fauna. Obviously, when there is this water, there is forest areas, etc. So that is why, obviously, since it is fertile region, so there will be flora and fauna. And when we are talking about the extension to Rajasthan desert, as I told you that it is mostly in your Uttarakhand and then New Delhi, then this is your UP area. Okay, and Allahabad it merges with Ganga. So ultimately it does not go towards Rajasthan. Okay, no doubt there are some tributaries of this particular river has some kind of river basin in Rajasthan, but you can say for exclusively Ganga it does not have. Okay, so option C would be your right answer, which says that it is not a characteristic feature of Yamuna river basin. Okay, it does not extend to Thar. Let's see question number 7. Regarding the new Pamban bridge, identify the correct combination of statements. Okay, first is it is the first of its kind in India to feature a vertical lift mechanism for railway transport. So basically, when we are talking about vertical lift system, let's say these are two islands and we are making a bridge. Okay, so when we are talking about vertical lift, they will make something like this, and this particular span, okay, it will go up and down as per the convenience. Whenever there is some kind of dock or a ship coming, this will go upwards, and then this will come back to its original position whenever there is a rail or train passing on over here. So this is particularly a mechanism for railway transport, or it's kind of a bridge which uses vertical lift system. Okay, the bridge serves as a link between Rameshwaram on Pamban Island and Mandapam on the mainland of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so you have to choose the correct statement. So let's see. Here you can see this is the project we are talking about. On Tamil Nadu mainland, it is the Mandapam, and then in the Rameshwaram area, Pamban Island, the Rameshwaram area, they are connecting these two areas with a rail link. And in that regard, this particular lift system has been in news. Okay, so news was India's first vertical lift railway sea bridge. 90% of the construction work has been completed, and it will be inaugurated in the February. Okay, so this statement is correct that it is connecting Mandapam to your Rameshwaram. Okay, and now we'll see. This is how it looks. See, this particular place is the span which will move upward in case there is a ship passing by from this particular area. Okay, and other than whenever there is a train passing by, this particular span will come to its original position and let the train pass. Okay, so that is the vertical lift span technology. The span rises vertically while remaining parallel to the deck when ship passes through. Okay, so that is your vertical lift span system. So here it is one of its kind. India's featured a vertical lift mechanism for railway transport. Statement is correct. and it is connecting Rameshwaram on Pamban Island to Mandapam on the mainland of Tamil Nadu. That statement is also correct. So option C would be your right answer for your 7th question. Okay, let's see the question number 8. That would be the last question for this episode. Consider the statements about the Chilika Lake. Okay, Chilika Lake, a Ramsar site located on the mouth of Daya River, flowing into Bay of Bengal. We will see. We will have a look at on the map. It is the second largest brackish water lagoon in India. Okay, the Irrawaddy dolphins are unique attraction of Chilika Lake, making it significant for the site of biodiversity in the region. You have to choose the correct statements. Okay, so let's see. Have a look at the map. Here you can see this is Daya River. Okay, so basically this is the mouth of the river wherein this particular lake is present. This is your Chilika Lake. Okay, it is in Odisha. And mouth of the river, when this particular lake is connected to your Bay of Bengal area. Okay, so this is your Chilika Lake's mouth. Okay, so Chilika is Asia's largest brackish water lagoon. Okay, and when we are talking about India, it is the largest brackish water lagoon in India. Okay, it has estuary like characters. When we are talking about estuaries are nothing but a geographical feature, you can say, wherein the fresh water from a river also meet with the sea water and forms a brackish water system. Okay, so this particular water has it is not, you can not say that it is a saline water and nor it is a fresh water, it is somewhere in between. Okay, so that is called the brackish water. Okay, so we have seen that. Let's see the statement. Chilika Lake, a Ramsar site, is located at the mouth of Daya River. This is correct. River flowing into Bay of Bengal. Okay, it is second largest brackish water lagoon in India. It is wrong statement because it is the largest. Okay, the Irrawaddy dolphins are unique attraction to the Chilika Lake, making it significant site for the biodiversity in the region. This is a factual statement which is correct. Okay, so you can remember that Irrawaddy dolphins are unique feature of this particular lake. Okay, so here when we are talking about the correct statement, statement 2 is wrong. We can go say that 1 and 3 are correct. Option B would be your right answer. Okay, so that is all about this particular questions. And now we will see a practice question for you. Consider the following statement. There are some states given. You have to choose which of the above states share a boundary with Myanmar. Okay, states are Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram and Tripura. You have to select the correct states which form boundary with the Myanmar. You can attempt this question, answer in the comment box. Okay, so we'll wrap up this session here. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.